the main thing for me was how many people are in his friends, family. I don't have that.
Yeah.
My people are 2 people.
And
Like-
2 dogs.
So the chaos and the beauty of
Yeah.
rural boy from the
Meeting.
dusty streets of Rustenburg meeting a
When you're big,
my wife is a twang.
because like all the ideas that we've had about how we were brought up,
Yeah.
you know, we wanna either correct some of those,
Yeah.
or implement some of those ideas. You know.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to 2.5 Husbands, where we celebrate becoming better husbands.
It's 2.5, even though there are 3 husbands, and that's because at some point one of us, if not all of us, was not fully the husband that we were supposed to be.
And that's why we actually come here on a weekly basis to discuss some of the issues that we face, some of the issues we are seeing around us, and we hope that the journey that we started with you and for you is going to benefit you,
And yours.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello, Black Naboon.
Sure, Ntate Kobedi.
Yeah. Bishop already for you.
Sorry, keep Bishop
My pastor.
right, Reverend,
Yes.
pastor,
My pastor.
apostle, prophet.
Daddy.
Papa. Yes, that's the one.
Papa Kobedi.
Papa, yeah.
Le guy,
Doesn't take that. He
guy
only
in
drinks
that-
Valpri. The sharp.
yeah,
Listen.
Lady Endo means.
Yeah.
I went to a church, sorry, random, where the mother of the house, the mama, had a little rug just for her feet.
Hey. Yes.
And then I was like, I can't
My
get it though.
dog.
Yeah.
Because she was in her heels, doing the church mom thing, then sat down on her throne.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't that throny, but it was a little, probably this big.
As long as it's different from the rest of
No, the rest of us didn't have.
The rest of us are plastic.
The rest of us had
Yes,
plastic
yeah.
chairs and cold concrete floor. She had a little plush rug and then she took off her shoes and put her feet. I was
Oh,
But the
hey.
question I ask is like, but my wife came to church with heels as well, and she was dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
as
I'm not the
hard
mother
Mara
of the
Hakuri,
house.
during
she's
the
not
worship.
having to do the hard work of mothering.
And I'm not,
community.
I'm
Yeah,
not
so-
chosen for that
Yes.
position.
Who chose you?
Anyway,
All right, shout outs, man. I'll buy you a rug.
Yeah.
a personalized. I don't know where you get
Yeah,
a plush
maybe I
rug
should.
that small, but that'd
Oh,
be great.
yeah, it will be a Louis Vuitton.
I should actually do that for my wife. What? When she comes to church, she must sit in front there. I'll buy her rug there. Yeah. Just to change tradition a bit.
Come on now. Hello, Lillian.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm very tired,
Queen Mother.
but I'm so happy to be here
Nice.
on this platform.
On this.
It's an honor
Come on
and a
now.
privilege.
People like you guys.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
I think they must comment whether or not we must replace the other guys or they must decide.
Replace.
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
So that it could be 2.5 wives.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Yeah. What?
So are you also a wife?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying, Anisha,
Yeah,
he's gonna
it's up to
replace
you.
us.
Yeah.
He's gonna replace us.
No, I said the other.
Oh.
Especially that's on a
The other's one again.
Okay. I thought you were replacing me as well.
No. When are you like
Okay.
the mascot of the?
The mascot. Wow, so much love here.
Anyway, speaking about replacements
Whoa.
and love, we're gonna speak about replacing
Okay.
our own individual cultures and upbringings as we come together, cleave, become one.
You leave.
Hallelujah. I mean, I didn't think it was a thing until somebody brought it up and was like, yo, man, I wonder if, this is a thing for other people. And I'm like, oh, man, I think it was a thing for us, but we didn't sit down and say it's a thing. We just kind of lived through it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna chat about. Just how it's looked like in our marriages, merging upbringings and cultures to form one new culture in your family. It's wild that our kids, like, we are creating their upbringing.
Yep.
That thing scares me,
It's very
dude.
different from
From ours.
like either of their parents. Yeah.
Like, have you seen the whole core memory thing online?
Core
Where, like,
memory?
yeah, so maybe they'll show. So the one that went viral, one of them was a dad at a Taylor Swift concert with his teenage daughters.
Yeah.
And they're singing along, and like they're just all into it. And the caption is like, I think I just watched a core memory be created. Like that thing is gonna be what
Yep.
defines
These kids.
that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, sometimes I'm playing with Zai and I'm like, did I just create a core memory? Or if I did something bad, or if I like lose my patience, I'm like, is this gonna be the thing that she remembers
Sure,
when she's
yeah.
21? That yeah, so
Yeah.
it's but I also overthink, so there's that.
I'm restraining myself.
Why?
Yeah?
It's kind of
No.
strange,
I don't want to attack Luda today. So when you're talking about culture, you're
Attack
talking like
me, King.
general, because culture is such a broad
It's a
thing.
big word,
like,
yeah.
like individually, how we raised, or
Yeah.
like you are from, like it's open gates, right? Like you're talking about
Yeah, I guess.
the differences or that we each bring to
Yeah.
the marriage.
I guess culture is however you did life, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously there's traditional culture, but then there's, I grew up in the hood. There's a different culture in the hood from the village,
Yeah.
different culture in the burbs.
Yep.
So like me and my wife, obviously you have two different upbringings, two different cultures. And so when we come together, we're merging all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's seen in, all the little stuff like dishwashing, laundry. I think now it's more pronounced that we have a kid. Because like all the ideas that we've had about how we were brought up,
Yeah.
we want to either correct some of those
Yeah.
or implement some of those ideas, So,
Yeah.
so culture in that sense. How was your upbringing? What was the culture in the area that you grew up in, and how did you merge that to
Yeah.
kind of create? Because you are creating a new culture regardless.
Yep.
But
Irregardless.
Regardless.
but that culture that you're creating is informed by, most likely, by your own upbringing and the cultures that
Yes.
you grew up in. Yeah.
Or a part of your upbringing you're trying to get away from.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even worse.
And I think because I think often we talk about marriage in like two people, but also just maybe it's reflecting on my culture that it's a combination of myself and my wife, and then how we interact with the different families as well. So
Yeah.
family traditions. What do you do at a funeral?
Yeah.
Does your spouse know how to pick up cues of like what's actually happening at a black funeral?
Like, I feel
Eh,
like I'm so triggered,
yeah.
not triggered. I'm getting anxious.
Why is
Because
it?
I'm in a permanent state of not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Because there's permanent funerals as well from my side.
yeah.
Like, how many people do you guys know?
So blacks, uncles, cousins,
Yeah. Who's also my
friends,
uncle?
and their family has been friends for generations. Yeah,
Yeah.
His nephew died, so we going. Yeah,
And they're still mad that you didn't invite them to the wedding.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
also that.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying.
yeah. No, I think that's the thing. Like invitations to weddings, because the fight start off with those kind of things. Like, do we invite? I remember when we were getting married. My wife's originally from Lesotho, so like there's a whole family there.
Sure.
She's interacted with suburban culture, so she wants a white wedding. My mom wants a wedding back home. I just like started working. The guest list is is endless. So like, how do you even engage with those?
Did you guys have like
with
300
those
people?
kinda- Yeah,
Was it
but I mean, 300 wasn't. There's still people who
Sure.
couldn't make it to the
yeah.
the reception, and it's not like my wife knew them. It's like,
Yeah.
this is how we do weddings.
Yeah.
People from Lesotho are gonna come here. So how do we? Yeah. So it's
You're
that's
like,
culture,
what
man.
is happening?
And it starts as early as that,
Yeah.
having to figure out how the wedding is going to look like.
Yeah.
But and I think what happens at the wedding is we think that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna ruffle feathers. You guys are gonna fight. You're gonna figure out maybe this one wants a blanket from Pre-Street. This one wants a ipuma from downtown. You know, this one wants King, the thing they gave you, the cane stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so at least, yeah, for most people, you think after this it's done. Can't you still gonna go home into your house, and you're still gonna have to do life. You have to create a culture, and I think most of the clashes then happened there.
Yeah.
But ours was chilled, man.
What?
Our wedding, like in terms of the cultural stuff.
Yeah.
Like a clash. Yeah, I don't think it was as hectic.
But
as
I
it
think because we obviously didn't have a lot of money and we were trying to save,
yeah.
and the size of the wedding was small, and we were warned, mainly from your side. My side was, I mean, I do have a couple of people like, you didn't invite me to the wedding, and I'm like, you haven't spoken to my mom in a decade. What's going on?
That's not the point. We know each other.
Are you guys
But
even
I
friends?
thought you guys were meant to like do that wedding and then
have the traditional one.
have a Zulu wedding. So that was
Yeah, it
kind of
never
the
happened.
like the thought. It can still happen, by the way.
It can,
But,
hallelujah.
Yeah, but that was because of like family beef. So
But I'm saying there's still people on like
Your
the-
side.
No, on the side of the family that we like, who when we go to funerals,
we like.
when we go to the family
My only family.
your family we consider family, yeah.
No,
Who
okay.
still are disappointed that they would go to a bride or whatever and be like, oh, that's my mom's cousin's what grandfather person, and he's still upset we never invited him to the wedding. So
But-
I think you're forgetting there was that.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
we faced it afterwards.
But here's the thing,
And
like
still do.
even some of those guys, like recently we went to a store. Let's not give people plugs, but we went to a store to buy some stuff, and then one of my uncles walked in. Right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Hey, Grace, here's my uncle. Let me go greet him." Sharp. We talk, and then he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" So I tell him, I'm like, I didn't think I'd see you in the shop.
Yeah.
Anyway, we chat, and then he's like, there's work that I have for you. Just give me your number. I'll give it to my friend.
Yeah.
Right? So I give him my number. And then he's like, Konjo, what's your name?
That is what he wasn't slick. He should have said, "Put your number in my phone."
Yeah, I was
That's
like-
what I do, and I don't know. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
and then you pissed that I didn't invite you to my wedding. You don't even know my name, bro.
Sure.
And we're gonna call ourselves family.
But it's so you are to him so and so son. Like I think
Yeah.
there's a sense again that's a cultural thing
He
where
coulda-
like
I
what
get
does
you.
it look like to know me? It could just
Yes,
mean
that's-
I know your mom. I was there when you were
He
born.
could have said.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
David.
Could have. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
even in that point, he could have said, "Hey, Mtanaga's ban.
Yeah.
What's your name?"
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
like,
oh, you didn't even know what
you probably
like,
don't even know who my
we
mom
related,
is.
but I'm
when-
not quite sure.
When you went to greet him, did he recognize you?
I mean, maybe he was pretending clearly at this point.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean, I
then-
pretend a lot, so
Yeah.
he could be pretending.
So he could have just
I
been
know
like,
this guy.
yeah, he probably could have. This kid is approaching me with so much confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe. So it's stuff like that where
Sure.
I'm like, bro, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
and it's that kind of thinking as well. I think that informs this new culture,
Yeah.
right? Where I'm like, with me, I don't want my kid to grow up with that. Like,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
my kid to call you Uncle David, and genuinely mean it. And you in her life, you know, I'm like, if anything crazy would happen,
Yeah.
my kid should know that I can run to Uncle David. I mean, the other night she was like, "How many fathers do I have?" Because I'm her father, and I'm telling her God is her father,
Yeah.
and I'm telling her, you know, if anything happens, David is your father. She's like, how many fathers do I have? Right?
But I mean, granted that she'll be married to Ahi.
Oh, guys,
It's,
this
I'm revoking that thing after
Why?
I,
Like what's
after I realized that your son is gonna be emotionally taxing.
He is a work in progress. He's establishing his own culture.
Okay.
So when they come together, it will be.
That culture is here.
We're
Clash
raising
of
them as
cultures.
cousins, so
Eh?
I don't see this happening.
I'm not sure.
We are arranging this
Wasn't
thing.
there a Bible story about somebody who married
We're
their
not in the
uncle's,
Bible.
thing?
We are not
We're not in the Bible.
Keep it in the family.
We're gonna work on your son's emotions. Then we'll arrange this thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But so you talking about the chaos, because it seems like we're framing the conversation in like chaos terms, but like
No.
there's also like beauty in it. So so the chaos and the beauty of
yeah,
a rural boy from
Meeting-
the dusty streets of Rustenburg meeting a
when your big
my wife is a twin.
your
yeah.
big
Your
school
wife went to
trip.
Paris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
Your big
Yeah.
school trip
Yeah.
was going to Pretoria Zoo.
The planetarium.
Yeah. Your wife went to
Just go to
Paris
Disneyland.
for a school trip.
Yeah. No. Gotta get levels.
Come on
I
now.
can't take her there because she's been. How do you top that?
You don't.
Yeah.
You plan a surprise trip to Paris. He's like, I remember I was here last time.
And it's like,
And you're like,
"Chief,
This is it.
oh, man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the I mean, maybe you share your experience. We'll start off with the ladies.
No, I want to hear about the dusty streets.
Oh yeah.
Going
ladies.
to, how did you even, what I want to know is like, obviously you do the ideas that, oh, she's like whatever,
Yeah.
bougie, whatever. But then even for you, like, was that not intimidating or was it like,
So here's the thing. I think I'll say it in two different stages. So I think the high school version of me would have been intimidated by my wife because I think there was this. We had a chip on our shoulder, so it was like it's us, the Kasi kids, who know the struggle versus these ones with a
Okay.
twang. These ones who speak English at a taxi rank. These ones who think they're better than us.
Always wearing
They spoke
blazers
English at the
even when
taxi
it's
rank?
hot.
Yes.
What?
This was like there
Yeah.
was a school called Grenville, and like the kids there were just
Barry, after Roberts.
yeah.
After Roberts.
Duh. Yo, man.
Barry, driver Cooper Falua at the sugary, not surgery.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I think we had a. You know when you don't like people, but it's from a place of inferiority.
yes.
Yeah, like they just think they're better than us. I still remember going to Hoërskool Bersig in Rustenburg for Math Olympiad. And like, I'm just like, wow. We arrived in
you were doing maths.
Sorry,
I
that's,
did,
I literally was
you
like,
were-
did you say math?
Yes, I did. I did
That's
do
so
math.
cool.
When?
Until grade 11, I was very good at math.
That's all our story.
Yeah, no. Anyway.
No, I was bad from grade 8.
I was good till grade
But I was
10.
bad on higher grade level.
Nice.
Yes.
I maintained it, but it was bad.
Yes, okay.
We're not
But it was
yours
bad.
was-
I was good till
Yeah.
grade 10.
Yeah.
And then I saw hell.
Yeah, no. It's like,
And then I was so bad in matric on standard grade
yeah.
to pass, they lowered it.
Lower grade.
I did not even know lower grade existed until I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
my
No,
matric
yeah.
certificate. I was
Yeah.
like,
Anyway.
lower grade.
Anyway.
So anyway,
Sorry,
we
you were at
come
the-
to the school for this competition.
Where was the
and
school? Rustenburg.
The school was in Rustenburg. So
Okay.
it's like an Afrikaans
Yes.
private
Oh,
school.
what a school.
And we are arriving with our bus from Gokasi. We are excited, obviously.
You singing.
And then it's like, okay, after school we see kids in blazers. I mean, first of all, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they're getting into cars, bruh. Cars that were fancier than my teacher's cars. I'm like, yo.
And
like
it's
this-
their own car.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this
it's not
is
their
a
parents'
kid
car. Yeah.
who's driving.
Wait, a kid?
a kid, yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So I mean, that was like, gay private school, and then the rest of us here.
Sure.
So I think I would have been intimidated, but I think university is a leveler.
Yep.
Like it's just like,
Yep.
oh, where are you from? Oh, I don't care. We here.
You're sitting on the same desk.
Yeah. So I think that's, and because we met in varsity, it didn't occur to me that this person speaks
Oh, I
fluent
see.
English. This person went to Paris. Yeah.
No. No, shame. She doesn't
Yeah,
talk
no, she's
bad.
very well spoken, as they say.
Come on. man.
Yeah, so I don't think I was intimidated. Yeah,
But was it appealing? I think I'm trying to figure out like the well, maybe the girls you would have dated before, like the girls you would have been attracted to. Was she like different?
You said dated.
Yeah, and then I was like,
You
I was like,
auto-corrected.
I did autocorrect.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm just saying like the fact that she's so different to what you grew up knowing.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
It's the dated thing anyway.
Okay.
What is it? Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay,
From
Finish your question.
What is? Yeah, what's your
let me
question?
finish the question because yeah. So I guess I'm wondering. Like, did her being so different to you, was that something that drew you in, or were you just curious about it, or were you like, oh, the chick is cool and we're so different? Like was there like any impact?
I think I'm trying to think back now because that thing wasn't
Right.
So there was no awareness that we actually come from different cultures as such. I think later on in marriage, that's when you realize, flip, like we just have different value systems. I think when we met, it was because she grew up with parents who were somewhat raised similar to how I was raised, as in started off in the village, went to hustle and make it in the city, and then provided that life.
Yeah. For
She
the
still
kids.
carried those. I don't know how to say it. Kibutu in like how I would say it in
humility.
in Tswana, like the humility, the ability to see people. So I think she had a lot of that. That's what attracted me the most to her. That this girl who's super loud, who speaks with a twang, is actually like a cool person. Well, in my
Grounded.
standards. In my
Yeah.
standards,
Yeah, that's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah. Anyway, you were finishing your question.
I did finish
Oh,
it.
okay. That's dope.
He answered it.
That's dope.
Did you zone out?
No, I didn't. I thought you were leading somewhere with
No,
it.
I was
Tired,
just yeah.
son.
No, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's
No, I'm not.
I was thinking of a funny story of one of my, is it not cousin? Yeah, one of my cousins from Pitori. I think there was it was during our wedding, the second wedding in the village.
In your village.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's trying to talk to my wife's brother, and then he doesn't. I mean, he grew up in
The burbs.
in the burbs. He didn't have the same upbringing as my wife. In that, by the time he was born, my wife was deep into Model C schools, and so his world was basically English, like my son's world will be. So he couldn't speak English. I mean, Venek.
Yeah.
So he hears a black guy in the village, and my cousin is speaking to him, but he can see that
Nothing is connecting.
like he was so shocked that
People like
this
that
guy,
exist.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I was also shocked coming to varsity to discover that there were black guys who didn't speak Tswana, because my whole world was basically shaped in
Yeah.
Setswana. So that's just such a different culture moment at a family function.
Sure. Now, for me, I think I was just thinking about it when my wife asked you the question now about your wife. I'm like, even if I tried, which I did, to date a Kasi girl as a Kasi boy, none of those girls wanted me.
I thought you were gonna say.
You've never dated someone from the hood?
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, bro. And it's not like, yeah, bro. I mean, obviously, like, I lived in the hood all my life, but I went to white schools from day dot, I think I spent like half a year in a school in the hood. But we code switches, man. We knew that, 8 hours of the day, and the other 8 hours, especially coming from Tembisa, where there's it's a melting pot of languages, you know. So I'm like, I mean, I still can't, to some extent, tell the difference between Sotho and Tswana, because we just spoke whatever, and then obviously Xhosa, Sotho, Xhosa, Zulu, Ndebele, Swati, we spoke everything, and then obviously Tsotsital, coming out of that. So I'm like, it's not like I couldn't connect.
Yeah.
I did. But I think for them it was like, fun, you're not fully
You're not
hood.
hood enough.
Plus,
yeah.
you had the whole hip hop thing going on.
It's-
So,
Yeah, but even before that,
right.
I
Okay.
remember, yes, bro. I remember there was this guy I was friends with, right? Cool guy, nice. But like he's like hood through and through, right? But very smooth, man, right? So he was, I think, probably a grade above me. So he went to high school first when I was still in grade 7. We just connected, and he, and he seemed like he always had like the hottest girls or whatever. So then he became friends with some other guy. That guy was like charmer, like proper hood boy, light skinned. All the girls liked him. I mean,
Chris Brown.
yeah, but he was pretty everywhere else except in. I killed it. You know?
Yeah.
Clothes killed it because his family had dough. He looked nice. But when you had to engage with him on serious matters, I was like, substance. So my friend then became close with this chama boy, right? And I remember at some point, and this is where my hip hop phase was starting. So I'm also trying to figure out like what my dress sense is. Bro, I remember those boys making me feel like an idiot, bro.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, man, I'm done, bro.
What happened?
So,
Yeah.
so basically, I remember this one time we were going to hang out, right? And so the chama boy basically said to my homie, like, we can't walk around with this kid with baggy pants, bro. Like,
So not only yo, and everyone else was.
yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of yo-yos. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
But
But you don't like that.
I'm saying.
no, it's fine.
I mean,
Nah, I mean, son, we can't.
yeah.
We're not.
But yeah, because there was the conscious
Yeah,
rappers, and then there was the
and then
like
there were
G-Unit.
Nelly
No.
and 50 Cent.
We wouldn't have been friends in high
No,
school
we
now that
wouldn't.
I
We wouldn't.
Think about it.
No, we would have. We would have. You know why?
Yeah.
I befriended some dudes like you who are not rappers at all. But I think the thing that we connected on was just like we liked engaging on like philosophy, religion, etc., etc. But to have conversations like that. There was a guy I was friends with. His name is Jesus.
This is at your box, babe.
Oh, guys. Like we can handle Jesus. Jesus. Oh, wow.
Jesus was hood, dog.
Yeah.
You know, but we connected, man.
Jesus.
Jesus was our homie, man. Anyway, so then these dudes basically were making fun of me, and I think that's how most chicks in the hood basically.
Yeah, they saw you.
Yeah, so at that point as well, my family's together. So I'm in anomaly, man. Like you have a dad who's present. You go to white schools. Yeah, sure, you can speak, you can connect, but like you're not really here. You know. And then obviously it was around the time when being a coconut was a thing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to be. I don't come to the hood and speak English. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't come home and speak English.
Yeah.
But for them, bro, it was just like, nah, son. So I just never. I left it. I dated girls who I went to school with, so they lived in the hood.
But Anna Marie.
Yeah, but Abigail.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I think because then we had our own culture. We were the coconuts, we were the code switches, we were the black kids in white schools. So we had our own culture. And so I just stayed there, bro.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
my wife, having lived in the burbs, yeah, I probably wouldn't have dated you as well.
Why?
I don't know, man.
Nobody would have been friends.
We would have been homies.
We were friends, yeah.
But she's not a
I'm not.
like
Nah, she's not. She's not a ha at all.
yeah. But she was doing big stuff. Yeah, appearing on TVs and all of that.
On TVs.
Yeah, like wasn't that a clip of you on TV? So
Yes, I was on TV.
I'm
Nice.
just
On
picturing
ETV.
me in Rustenburg and then that box TV watching you. Like, yeah, it would have been worlds apart for like to be friends with someone like her.
So then, sorry, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you had like little bit of both, right? Mm-hmm. So then, was it much of a clash then?
Between us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Much of a clash.
Besides the dishwashing, which used to keep
So there was
coming
the
up in our
dishwashing,
life.
and then there was the laundry.
The
But-
laundry.
But I gave up on the laundry.
Okay, let's leave that because I don't want to get hot.
Hey,
I currently have
no, bring
laundry.
it here,
I have
bring
laundry
it.
I currently have
Bring
to
it
do.
here.
So I
Okay.
might think
I know.
Yeah.
of the
Oh,
laundry
okay.
that's
Yeah, let's-
and
so
be
it's
like,
triggering.
it's gonna trigger me.
Triggered.
We don't want to fight on the
Yeah,
podcast.
so I think
We must talk about being triggered.
yeah, I give it unalili files when it's all funny files afterwards. Yeah, so I think probably it was just more the practical stuff.
Okay.
Not our values, because I think our values were the same. Because as much as you grew up in the burbs, like you were very hip hop in that you grew up in the city, poetry, you liked rap, and so we connected there.
Yeah.
And that became kind of my subculture out of my traditional culture, which is hood, being Zulu, etc., etc. So I think we connected there in terms of values, worldview. So that was fine. But it's just the practical stuff where I'm like,
But she's raised by a black mom as well. Because I think if we're talking a fusion of cultures, like the person who raises you also kind of sets the direction of what kind of human you
'Cause-
become. What
Sorry.
sort of food do you eat?
Ish,
How
fine.
do you view success? Because, like...
I have his fancy taste buds.
Eh?
I don't.
I mean, you introduced me to sushi.
Let's just use the only thing, and it took like 20 tries for you to actually be.
When we go to restaurants.
You introduced me to medium rare steak.
Yeah, that's because I hung out with other people later on in life. But I'm just saying, just even like stuff at home and even things that you want to try.
But the thing is, in as much as I grew up in the burbs, but I didn't have first of all, I wasn't a rich kid. And we didn't have that culture in the house. So like I went to a black school, like everyone was black, but like then you had like rich black kids. So like Civi's Day was a stress for me because I was like, what the heck am I gonna wear? And I like hit my mom to be like, can we please go? It's Civi's Day next week. I need an outfit. And then you go to Truett's.
But single ginger made and that.
2 words, bro.
Because that's where the account is.
Yeah. Oh,
Ginger Mary.
I'm thinking,
Ginger Mary, bro. Yo. Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I'd be like, I really want to go to like Mr. Price. That's all the cool kid. Nope.
Yeah.
It's not like, wow. So I'm just saying, like, it's almost like I was like a bubble within this bubble of like
Blackness.
suburban. Yeah, no, what?
Blackness.
Blackness.
I'm saying at school.
Oh, yes. I
Yes.
thought you meant something else. And also just like suburban culture. Like, I mean, we moved to the burbs and my mom was still driving like this old beat up Toyota while everyone else was saying, you should be driving a better car.
That car was nice.
No, that's not a beat up car. It was a
That car was fire. That one.
Yes. But my point was just like there was, sorry guys, my brain just went. What was I saying?
You kind of lived in the burbs, but not really.
Yes.
Like you weren't a rich kid.
Yeah. So in as much as I was from the burbs, I still took taxis. I would walk to
took
save money.
taxis?
Yeah.
You took a bus, bro.
The only thing I never took was trains because
Okay.
I didn't live in the vicinity and I'm also scared of trains. So there's that.
Right.
But taxis, buses, I walked.
Didn't you get clapped in a train?
What?
I did.
Yeah,
Did you? That's sad.
I told you. I didn't
That's
get
it.
beat up.
You got trauma from it. Just
But I got nothing.
Is this a file? Is this a file?
No, it's the 1st of September, and then people pour water and whatever. So I didn't get clapped.
you got clapped.
No,
That's
so
it.
I was vying,
Yeah.
which was worse than getting clapped.
Yeah.
So everyone is pouring water, but these punks. So I just got dropped off at the station. So I'm
Sorry, how old were
walking.
you?
Grade 8.
Okay.
So I'm walking, and then the train is going that way. So literally, I'm just walking to the thing, and then they sprayed me with pee.
You never told me this.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. Then I got so pissed.
Yay.
I kicked the train.
Yay.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I was that pissed.
You
I
kicked the
smacked
train
it.
from inside.
No, outside. I'm sure the train is pulling up. So
Oh,
obviously,
sorry.
if it was
Yes.
speeding.
Sorry,
Yes.
I had it mixed
so
up.
So it's
Okay.
like it's pulling off.
Right,
I'm
right.
walking. I just got off.
Oh.
So it's pulling off, and then these punks. You know?
Oh my
So then I
god.
smacked the thing and kicked it.
Yeah.
After kicking it, guess who's there? Abo Gondo.
Majingila.
Abo Gondo, which is the security.
And they didn't see what happened.
They don't care, bro. So then those punks took me to their office and were like, okay, you vandalizing property?
After getting
Do you
pee
want
thrown on
to-
you.
Ah, bro, yeah.
You want to get smacked on the hand or the palm?
Hey.
So I was like, hand. And they're like, you're not going to write the whole week. So I was like, okay. I know they whacked me, bro.
your
But you know what the rubbish thing is?
You've never told me the story.
I did.
Black, I would remember getting like yo.
I told you. So then the rubbish thing is after these punks smacked me, when I got home and told my parents, they were like, well, what did you do?
Hey.
Nobody cared
That will
about
beat you.
you being victimized.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry.
You don't think that contributes to your psychological issues?
100%.
To my culture.
Yeah, no, that's part of the culture.
Anyway. So did you guys have any clashes? Maybe that's the thing. Clashes and some beautiful moments that have come out
Yeah,
from
man.
the merger of your cultures.
I think the biggest thing for us is, and I think it falls in both categories. It's the like how we view success and progress, finances. If you have a
Ooh, yeah.
again, if you have a wife who's been to see the world, like they just have a much wider perspective on what the world is gonna look like,
Sure.
where they wanna be in life. She grew up in a real house with a pool.
You had legs, bro.
I grew up in a house. One day, bruh, still, this is one of the saddest moments where the roof was leaking and the water was pouring. So my house was a pool.
Why did you do that? Oh my god.
That's the only,
It was raining.
that's the only swimming pool
That's the only
we had,
pool,
man.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Why would you put it like
Because
that?
it's so, I don't want to be sad. So, like, that's the, like the roof was, like, winds. Yeah, roof was about to fall off. And I remember my grandmother saying, let's pray. And I'm like,
Yo.
I don't think God can help us. Yeah.
Had it been
So-
having sorry, I'm just trying to understand the context. Was it like the roof had been having issues or that night it just
No, I
fell
think the
apart?
roof was just old.
But I'm saying, was that the
rusted.
first time it had such a leak? Hectic water.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
the first time where you had such a powerful wind that was
Got you.
combined with
The rain.
like with rain.
Yeah.
And I think the house was a two room with like a mkuku on the side. So yeah, like that's the like the world you grew up in, and it's
Yo.
just like flip. If I can just have a house that's
If I could
proper,
just have
like we
Yeah.
a toilet inside,
Yeah,
I'll be
like-
fine.
Yeah.
proper electricity, a geyser.
Sure.
Did I even dream of a geyser? Not even, like, because you bath in a Vascom and that's your world. I think the best thing you're hoping for is finish school, go to varsity, come back to Rustenburg, work in the mines, and maybe move to like one of the in town. So that was the reality. So compare that to somebody who grows up in a proper house, who went to...
Yeah, because she's not thinking I need
Nah.
I need to at least have a roof. She's like, how big is
Nah,
this
so
house?
she's like,
How
how
many
can I move
rooms
from
can we
this?
add? Yeah.
Yes.
This humble beginning. And I'm like, if I can just
That's
have
my
that-
goal.
Yeah,
Yo, that's
that
crazy.
humble beginning. So, yeah, so I think that the clashes come in that when, like very often I feel like she pushes the boundaries to say, hey, like I think it's high time we moved and got our own place. And like my mindset is always, but we can't afford that or like whatever. Like a scarcity mindset of let's just protect what we have and not dream bigger than this. Because in my mind, it's like it's fine. this house that we have is perfect. I'm actually content.
Like you're
I
satisfied.
I can stay there forever, and
Yeah.
I'll still
Yeah.
be okay because it's way better than
Sure.
where I came from. Yeah, if we go to Durban for holiday, Cape Town, that's great, man.
Go Durban.
Yeah. But for her, it's like, I want to go to the Maldives. And it's like, I check the prices and I'm like,
You can't even spell Maltese.
hey, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Maltese
So-
sounds like an uncle who worked in the mines.
Yes. Who once disappeared.
Malume
and then-
Maldives.
Malume Maldives. So I mean that's a massive clash because I think you're talking financial
Yeah.
value system.
Yeah.
You're talking like I'm more of a let's save
Yes.
what we have, let's stay here for as long as we can, live according to affordability, and not spend too much or we'll get there one day. We're okay now. So I think there's some of the things where I feel like for her it's always let's dream bigger, let's push. I want my kids to go on holiday overseas, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, this is this is us now.
Child passport?
This is us.
Yeah.
So that's the clash, but I
Yeah.
think it's also a positive and the beauty of it that we get to balance each other out. Sometimes I bring her to reality that life is not that she's wanting Instagram life, but like life is not what you see on Instagram. At the same time, I feel like I'm pushed as a man to be a better husband, to dream more. To me, like if I look at the percentage of South Africans and how, like it's really, we live in the top 10%. And to me, I'm like, man, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And it's not like my wife isn't thankful for that, but she dreams for more. She dreams
I mean, it's
for bigger things, and that's positive.
Yeah.
But there's an element that at which we must sometimes be thankful that like we're in the top 10% and we can build slowly.
But even that, like I remember that top 10% being made aware of it, and I think one of the things was if you have running water directly into your house. Because in my mind, when you think when I'm thinking top 10, I'm like, oh, you mean like billionaires?
Yeah.
Like you're talking like Patrice Motsepe.
That's
what?
1%.
I'm like, what? That's 1%. And so the interesting thing is like you've experienced both. So like the awareness of that you're in the top 10%.
Yeah.
It's like it's an actual tangible thing.
Yeah.
Because you're saying like you didn't think of a Giza or whatever the case may be.
Shucks,
Or
man.
so I'm like, oh, that's like a real thing. Versus for me, it's very conceptual. So then I'm like, we have running water.
Always.
But part of me kind of feels like everybody got running water, which is not true.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
100% not true.
Because that's
but
your
there's
world.
Just,
Like
yes,
you've always had the
yes. So then the
running
level of
water.
satisfaction
Yeah.
is, I would think, then so much greater because you're like, bro, like
Yeah.
we had like houses that had roofs caving in.
Shucks, yeah.
So that's actually quite profound.
Like looking at, and I mean, I think the scarcity mindset of let's hold on to money. You learn it from grade 8 when they give you money. My mom was at that stage at nursing school. So she had very little and she would give us money. And then it's like, oh, okay, like this is what you have for the month. This is between you and month end.
Sure.
Sorry, what were you doing with the money in grade 8?
So for food, break time,
Oh,
and
for school.
transport. Yeah.
And transport, okay.
So she wasn't staying with me, so I would get an allowance that would cover the transport and the food. So yeah, month end or around the 15th when she gets paid, I'm bowling, I'm eating like water,
God does
which
with,
is
with
like
all with all the stuff in it.
for a week, and then
Yeah.
next week we used to have this sandwich called randa.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
1
yeah,
rand.
yeah,
It was paloni, acha, 3 slices.
What
bought
did
it
we
for a
call
rand.
that in my hood? I think it was.
You guys
also
had it
called-
as well. Yeah. So yeah, the following
You made
week
that at your house the other day.
yes,
Yeah.
because that's
I just realized that. And it was 3 slices. It
Yeah.
was exactly like that.
it is.
After giving us some sogo buns.
My wife doesn't know what musoko is. She's like, ew, this is disgusting. I'm like,
I even know what
Yeah,
Msoko Bans
this is-
is.
Sogo buns
this
is,
is the
fire,
best thing
son.
ever. Anyway, like you knew that Second week, you eating that. Third week, ice, 30 cents and biscuits that they used to pack in like small plastic bags.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the month, you know that it's hunger, right? And you hang out with the kids who are also hungry. So we could, at times you'd walk just so as to save money. But I wasn't saving money for good reasons. I was playing King of Fighters.
Nice.
Yeah.
We walked so we can buy quotas, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And my school, if we'd walk all the way from school to my house, it was a good 3 hours. If we walk.
How far was the school driving?
3 hours.
That's
An
not
hour.
you. Your school was an hour away from where you lived.
Yeah, my high school was an hour away.
Sure, man.
But then we would like walk and then, you know, and we like, yeah, no, we'll walk to the next town. Then we'll catch a taxi from there because we'd normally catch 2 taxis. So it was like, okay, let's walk to one town, catch a taxi, and then go to the hood.
Yeah.
But then we would hike on the way, you know. And we didn't, it's not like I didn't have money.
Yeah.
It's not like
You
me and
wanted
my
to use the
friends-
There were
money
times
for
where you wanted to use.
Yeah, we just
the money
wanted to
for
buy
something.
quotas.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and I don't want to bother, both of us didn't want to bother our mothers. with-
'Cause you knew
with
it
extra
was,
money.
you
Yeah.
didn't have-
So, anyway, so we'd thingy. And then this one time, we hiked, and this guy's like, all right, get in the van. Right? And then you guys will give me $10 each.
Yeah.
When we get to the hood. Right? Okay, from Jayam. So we go, aye. Probably like 2 minutes into the thing, I'm like to my homie, "Ya hlanya le."
Yeah.
I knew it.
You're gonna leave us in the back of the van, and expect us to give us $10 for where you were going.
How much was
so
the taxi? How much were you saving?
I think if we were walking,
No.
If we
No,
hike.
if you're taking a
If
taxi.
you had taken, a cab.
taxi was, I think, would spend probably $25 to $30, I think, a day.
But at the point he picked you up to the hood.
Yeah, would have
was that
spent.
the-
Would have spent. Yeah, probably $10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know it's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as soon as we entered the hood,
Yeah.
I was like to my homie, dog, let's not be dumb.
Yeah.
Don't jump on the same side, right?
Hey, this guy is.
So we got there, and he's like, Bafana.
Yeah.
Who is he gonna run after?
And he has to first get out the car
Yes, yeah.
and figure out
you
what's
gotta-
happening.
I was like,
Oh, guys.
so hlangane makote.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, man.
So
We
anyway,
learned
that's
saving
fine.
skills from
Yeah.
from the young age.
Anyway, I remember we did a video couple of years ago. At a group. Were you there with the Black Fathers?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Anyway, but we were having this conversation, and I remember a couple of us were like, "Oh, yeah, no, our wives want stuff, bro," and we're just happy that we have showers.
Hey, man.
I'm just happy that I have a shower, and my wife is like, "When are we getting a second car?" I'm like, "Girl,
We have a car.
I used to bath in a Vasco.
I want my own bathroom.
I know. She just can I have a
And a walk-in closet. Yeah, man.
Ushapaka accent on swings.
Yeah. Hey.
Kara so. Mina benkeza pavin in the shower. The thing is, we were like, can we just enjoy what you enjoyed all your life?
Yeah.
Give us time to catch up.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy the fact that I can leave my bedroom and go into the next room, and that's the bathroom, and not think
Outside,
I want to move loko kotakata namhlanje. Konutigolosh konikato rinja before I go out, right?
You guys didn't use buckets, indoor buckets.
Aye.
That's another.
No,
that's
people do, but your family
cultural-
doesn't.
Yeah. No, we did at some point.
Did you?
Yeah, but
Okay.
we were like, I'm fit.
Eh?
Yeah, it's fun. Anyway,
Yeah, but that's like real culture. We know what's happening. The toilet is too far. At night, can I tell you a story? That no, let me not.
anyway,
People are gonna disrespect me.
anyway.
Yeah.
How did
Sorry,
it, how did it,
I just want to share something on the
Yes.
bucket thing.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not how I grew up, and like I wasn't familiar with that. And so I remember when we were dating, and I would come over to where you're staying with your mom, and one of the tenants
Yeah.
would come out with a little bucket and go to the toilet. It was like a
Yes.
little
Yeah.
like pine gel type bucket. And I'd see her like every now and then I'd come out. And I remember being like, what is she doing?
What did you think she was doing?
I was like, because in my head, I'm like, okay, it's a little bucket. No, I'm thinking it's a little bucket.
Yeah.
Maybe she was cleaning something.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't understand why because
to the
where she
toilet.
lived, the
There's a
garage,
drain.
she's sleeping in the garage and
Yeah.
the toilet's on the other side of the house.
yeah.
Why does she dispose of the water in the toilet? Why not just like on this? Because I'm like, it's a little bucket. Maybe she was
Yeah.
washing. And why she was washing stuff? And then one day I asked Black, I'm like, oh, what is she doing? He's like, no, dude. She uses it at night. It's an ablution situation.
Hey.
Give my cake.
And that was, but anyway, that was like that was like, and I felt super ignorant, but it was just that thing where.
So now, in this moment, because I think maybe I was always conscious of people judging, like
Yes.
your situation.
Yes.
In that moment, what are you thinking about Black? Like this is because this is his house now. Like
You still
I don't know.
she married me, bro.
No,
No,
it
but like
wasn't.
at that stage.
No, okay.
First thing that comes
I
to your
know.
mind when it's
I
like,
know what you're
hey, this guy who's cool.
So here's the
grew
thing,
up in
right?
this
Here's the
kind
thing.
of thing.
So let me give you a bit what's working in my mind.
Yeah.
The school I went to, which I went to from grade 0 to matric, which is like
What
heavy.
school is that?
Aye.
They're not getting a plug.
So what? They're not?
Getting a plug.
No. So the school I went to, which is from grade 0 to matric, all the kids that were at my school came. Well, not all. A lot of the Black kids came from Soweto.
Okay.
And the Soweto kids' parents were driving Pajeros. And they were driving. So in my mind, I understood that, yeah, there's parts where, yeah, things are rough, even though I'd never been there.
Yeah.
But all these kids who are coming from the township
Yeah.
clearly have a way better off than me, who's living down the road in the
you
suburb,
travel,
right?
So you had
My-
no fantasies
Soweto.
of one day marrying a township.
No, but it's so in my mind,
Went to the
you
off-
can, because remember, I don't have connections or ties. So I went to Soweto like in, I think my first time when I was like 20 or 21. Went to Black's Hood when we were dating. No, not when we were dating, when
Before
we were friends.
friends,
Yeah.
your friends,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, there was just not places I went to. There was no need for me to go there. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, these people are from Soweto, but they drive like big cars. They
Yeah.
have the fancy phones. They come into school in Nikes.
Yeah.
On Civics Day, Nike head to toe.
Yeah.
You know,
You're not paying the bond.
So,
Wow.
but I'm just like, so when Black is like, yeah, I'm from the hood, I'm like,
Yeah.
but not everyone from the hood is
Yeah.
like necessarily
we go to the
struggling.
same school.
And we're in the same school.
Yeah.
He had a car before I did. So it's look, and I mean, and his car was bought for him. So
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, yeah, and he sounds like me. We
Yeah.
like the same things. You had a BlackBerry. I was begging for a BlackBerry. So I'm just saying, like, so when I get there, it was more of a shock to this is not what I expected from him.
Yeah.
But I was also super embarrassed because I realized how little I actually knew.
Oh yeah.
And like suddenly all the stories he was telling me in
Yeah.
our friendship suddenly like made sense.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, oh, flip. And then also, is this how it is? Is this how a majority of our country actually lives?
So you still have
Then
to
I'm
walk.
like,
And then I have a room outside.
Yeah.
So it's probably like, what the?
What is happening?
yeah. So you had mentioned you had an outside room.
Yeah.
I'm
You
thinking,
thinking cottage vibes?
maybe.
On my father's huge plot.
Like it just. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
In the world that I was growing in, I had seen Black people. Because that was another school thing. I only engaged with like white people, like in varsity, like
Yeah.
white people were over there. So I'm like, I've seen Black people who are either very successful, pretending to be successful,
Yeah.
but they're all in the city, in the burbs. I've lived in like downtown where it's, you know, grimy and dirty, but everyone, the basic stuff is there, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm meeting my old family members in the village, where the
Yeah.
toilet is a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing this sort of middle.
Like middle ground.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, this guy again. He's got a, and so that's the part that I couldn't.
So it's
for
like those-
years, I just couldn't understand. But you have a car. Because for me, I'm like, I'm not even asking my mom for a car. That's not even a conversation.
Yep.
A car is like you. And for me, having a car, I'm like, that's what the people on the American TV sitcoms have.
Wow, yeah.
They have cars. Their parents buy them cars. Your parents bought you a car.
And I mean, obviously, there's more color to my story.
100%. But I'm saying
Yeah.
this is what now
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
sort
yes,
of processing.
yes,
No, but I
It
mean,
didn't-
that's, like it comes.
Yes.
It's a shocker to
Yeah,
say.
and
Yeah,
it
no,
did
100.
change how I looked at Black. Because
Yeah.
remember, he's my friend. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then after that, some of my friends were much richer and whatever. I was probably the most like I never had cash money. So I would walk because my mom never gave allowances. Like there was no allowance in my household for anything.
Yeah.
So she'd be like, here's your bus money for the month or your taxi money. And I'd be like, okay, good shot. If I walk from here to downtown to Gandhi Square and then I walk and then I can save like 18 rand, a day.
Should've
So that
gotten
I
a
can
van,
go
bro.
to Newtown on the weekend.
Yo.
Because if I say I want to go, she's like, my mom wasn't giving you money for anything. She's like, you got food, you got uniform.
Yeah.
Like,
Got DSTV.
I would, bruh, when you talking about buying kotas, if I bought a kota, it means I went to buy bread and didn't give my mom change. Like I hustled my way to get, there was no.
You made your own.
So even that concept of kids going to, and so you see for me, I'm like, these kids are coming from the township, but they're in line buying pies and Coke and whatever. And I asked my mom and she was like, oh, you want chips? We're going to Macro. We're going to buy a box of 50 and you can pick any chip you want. I'm like, it's not the same. So
I wanna stand in the line.
so anyway, sorry, I'm going around in a circle. The whole thing was, it didn't change how I saw him. It was just like, it only became a factor when we started dating and we're going to get married. Because now I was like, I need to make sense of this. I need to, and also the main thing for me was how many people are in his friends, family. I don't have that.
Yeah.
My people are two people.
And
Like,
two dogs.
I have two people. Well, one, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
That's my people. And then I have like maybe 4 others, but they're scattered.
The one dog had diabetes. Is that the one who?
He had diabetes.
Oh,
yes.
My daughter made sense of
I
him
feel like
dying
you want to
recently.
mock me right now. I really do.
So when I read your face, I'm like, I think it's
I feel like
one of those situations where like you are deeply attached.
I
to
was,
the
but
dog.
I feel like you're asking me in like
I'm not.
No,
Well,
we
I
were
kinda-
deeply.
I kinda am,
Like
but
she
I was
had
like,
medical
I'm
aid.
not sure we can.
You
Yeah.
never had medical aid.
No, that's what he was going to
Oh,
say.
no. He was diabetic.
That's a culture
Yeah.
shock.
It is a cultural difference how we relate to animals.
Yeah, but my
that's-
dad bought us a puppy when I was 4.
Yeah.
So like, and then we got another one, and he died, and then years later.
You bought us. What happened is
You
the
woke
one
up and the dog was there.
There was lots of puppies, and then it's like we need to distribute. What were the clashes and the beauties then? Because I mean,
Yes.
it seems like you step into that world,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, now I have to learn this whole new way of doing life.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the things for you that were like just shockers and issues of contention, and how did that? What were some of the beauties of this new culture that you had to learn?
So I think the clashes were more so he had more people to appease, if that's the word, or make sure we're okay, or whatever the case may be. And I don't mean like in the sense of like paying bills or anything like that. Just there were more people on his side to consider.
Yeah.
And so for me in my little, I'm like, oh, now we have to talk about who's that person? And feeling I was like more emotionally stretched, and I had to consider more people.
Yeah.
Whereas my world, that's not where my upbringing was very much like, my mom was like that. That was it. That's where it started and ended. So as long as she's good, everybody else, So I remember even with Christmas, and I don't even know if it's a clash per se, but it was just a difference in, first of all, how we celebrate. So currently I find Christmas to be very stressful, but that's more an internal thing for me.
Yeah.
So growing up, Christmas would be the 3 of us and maybe somebody else, but usually it was very small. And it was about, you exchange gifts, you make food, you do this and whatever. On black side of the family, it's obviously the clothes, it's a whole day thing. It's we need to see this, and then
Whole week.
he had this aunt who she's late now, but I mean every Christmas we'd have to buy her a drink, and that was like and so even though those things ended up being like really cool, because I'm like.
Yeah.
It would make me so anxious because I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to the fact that we have to go to so many houses. And I'm
Yeah.
already an anxious person.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, and I'm like, wait, we're going to another house? Who's this person now?
You have to eat at every single house.
No.
as well.
Like
Yeah.
we only ate at one house. And then there's just the flow of people. And
Yeah.
like you're sitting there from whatever time until midnight, and everyone's drunk and we're dancing and it's all good. But I think it was a thing where it was just having to, like my world, and the side of me that likes to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The unpredictability was really difficult for me. That's why I'm saying it's not that there were clashes and that anyone was doing anything to me or like
Yeah.
we fought about, what are we going to do about this? It was just the realization that I had very clear boxes, which I hadn't even thought would be an issue when I got married. Like I hadn't thought about it and what it would mean. I hadn't, so even... Yeah, so that whole thing of just like, oh, there's lots of people and I don't know who this uncle is and now this is happening. Oh, now we're going there. Now and I have to know I don't know everyone's name. Should I be washing dishes? Should I be scrubbing the floor? And everyone's like, no, you can sit down, it's fine. I'm like, are they saying that just because they like nice to me, but inside they talking about me?
Yeah.
Let me go wash the dishes.
Yo,
and then
that's
Black
a
is
lot
like,
of
it's a lot,
mental
bruh.
exercises.
Yes. So I think it's just my natural anxiety combined with how, because we had less people to consider in my household, things sort of, you could predict what would happen in different settings, birthdays, whatever it is. Here it's like, we don't know.
Anything can
and that
happen.
would stress me out. Like, Black would...
We don't know it's an adventure.
Yes, that was so hard because Black would be like, yeah, I'm going to the hood. Oh, we're going to the hood. What time do we have to get there? And he'd be like, anytime. I'm like, but what time are they eating? He's like, we'll eat when you get them. I'm like, yeah, but when is everybody...
When you arrive.
Just follow the... Yeah, go with the flow. When
so I think it was mainly that, and then obviously the culture, language thing was like okay, cool. Like,
So you just reminded me of a friend of ours that we took to one of Black's grandmother's house, and like he couldn't tell the cultural what you might call it, cues.
Etiquette.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So they offered us food, and he's like, because we had just eaten. He's like, no. Like,
Oh no, that's...
our
Are you
food.
serious?
Yeah, and like
A Black person?
yeah,
You know
but,
him.
yeah.
He was like, and we're
You
And then
never
we were like,
told
me,
me.
yeah.
David, Reggie, who else was
Oh
there?
my gosh.
I think me gets at that stage. I don't know if me.
I think he was
What?
there. And all of us were like,
Hey, chief.
yo,
You
Gonna
never
eat.
turned down food.
hold up.
Yeah. Let's talk about black text. And I know you didn't.
No,
wanna-
the beauties. The beauties.
We'll get to that, but the chaos, because I think, and maybe this is where my, like, sort of expectations come in, where, like, to me, growing up in a, because it sounds like what you're describing is a more individualistic setup versus a very communal setup.
Yes.
The expectations of helping out, the expectations of, okay, so and so is looking for a job. Like the most normal thing for me to do is to say, yeah, let's
Pull through.
have them over. I know we stay in a flat, but like we have a loft up there. They can stay there.
Yes.
We make this thing work and we uplift them. Hey, like there's a lot of kids at home.
You
What
actually
if
don't
I-
stay in a flat, Kobedi.
It is a flat.
The flats are not what you stay in.
It's a flat. That
It's
is
it's a flat.
loft and
Okay.
squashed,
Old school flats were the high-rise buildings.
Okay.
What's
This
a
is,
flat?
this is a new school kind of flat.
Duplex.
I also did
What is
a
that?
duplex is a double story.
Ushapaka-
Actually, it is a
Una-
duplex.
Exactly.
Because of the loft.
Yeah, but it's not like a
condo, man.
It's not like a room. And the living spaces, anyway.
You don't live in a flat, my dog.
But like for me, it would be like most natural to say,
Yes.
let's bring them in. Let's not only bring those who are asking for a place, but let's think about some kid who's got potential to bring them into the family. Like those are some of the things that I think about. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
but I know that like my wife is amazing, but like I just don't want to bring that to her because that's just not the world that she grew up in.
Yes.
Yeah, like helping out, helping people out, including people into our family structures and those kind of things. It seems like for city people versus township, rural people,
Yeah.
there seems to be an issue of contention where we don't see eye to eye.
So I could do you one up, bro. There's an amazing podcast called On the Couch with the Newborns, where we look at that very question and we look at it in detail.
Who is the newborns?
Us. Before we shot that thing,
Yeah.
my wife was like, man, like, this thing shouldn't, like, be too deep, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, girl.
Yes.
Because I prefaced the thing by saying that my thoughts on black tax are changing. And then she was like, okay, yeah, but let's just be here. Did she not become a lecturer?
Hey!
Getting in deep, exploring the cultural dynamics. Come on now.
I'm Luda.
Caria.
Anyway.
So anyway, I think it'll be dope. If you're part of this community, it's just us. If you've enjoyed us talking, check out that episode. We'll drop it. But I think for me, it's a bigger conversation. But how we've dealt with it, I think if we didn't have the same values, and kind of a similar worldview, which is what I wanted to say with this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Where you village, you burbs, I'm hood. The hood tends to occupy the middle, where you will get the kids with the pajero, but we live in the hood. Where you'll get the kid who lives in the hood, but I go to white schools or whatever. The hood kind of occupies this weird middle where even when we do get into marriage, things that would have rather been difficult, I think if the gap was this wide, which is you and your wife, which is Burb's village, I think if the gap was that wide, obviously there'd be clear rubbing up against each other. But the hood kind of bridges that gap, where bro, like there's just this melting pot of all these experiences, where down the road there's the dude who owns a supermarket, and next to him there's the dude who lives in a shack, and so you grow up seeing all of that. And I know I'm answering black tax, but the thing for me was
I genuinely was like, does he remember the question?
I'm getting
My
there.
brain also was
I'm setting up.
went on holiday. This guy saying.
I'm setting up. I'm getting to the black tax. But the thing that made it easier for me, I think, to merge cultures was, again, for 8 hours of my life, I got a taste of what the burbs look like.
Yeah.
So the thing that was probably not a shock, but it was different. It's just food choices. And I think my wife has amazing food choices, and she went to some nice restaurants, and that's the thing that she introduces me to, fancy nice restaurants and fancy tastes.
I don't know her that way though.
Huh?
I don't know her.
No,
like
I'll
that.
tell you. So all of that to say, when it even came to the question of quote unquote black tax,
Yeah.
because there was some understanding, where I'm like, listen, we're building a life here.
Yeah.
Yes, I come from a community that's big. There might be greater needs, but even in that community, so even in my own upbringing, there was an understanding that, you're part of this thing, but you have a clear opportunity. You can go do your stuff. There's ways for us to also build ourselves. And if we come to you to ask for help, it's not that we're giving our whole lives to you to say, take care of us. But the hood has formed us and shaped us in a way to say, hey man, you could still push, you could still grind. So don't come out and ask for just like a clear handout, So how black tax has worked in our lives is, how can we help? How can we meet somebody halfway and not necessarily give off all ourselves?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even grow up like that, where there's just handouts all the time, So I'm like, I take my own parents, where it's like, you gonna work. If they could afford to take me to better schools, they've worked. And so I think in my immediate community, there's an understanding that at least you have to do something, and then wherever you end, sure, then you can apply for some black tax.
But if you know that, because I think for me it's like knowing the desperate situation that people find themselves in, that for you to even work, like you need a like to catch a taxi from the village to come to town so as to find work. So I think it's that kind of thing, to even give somebody the platform to work. I think, when I think about uplifting people, that's what I think about. But I think what I like with what you're saying is that, like in some ways, that clash of different cultures help again, yeah, I think for me, what I take away from this conversation is that it's both a clash and like something like there's
Something
beauty
beautiful,
in it. In the sense that like I'm clashing because I'm coming from this extreme, and then this person is bringing me to like some kind of a balance that you can't always be like giving handouts to people. That's just not how the world works. So it balances out my culture and some of the negative elements of it. And then hopefully balances her out as well. To say, yeah, like we're building, but we can still like bring people in for a season, help them out, and she's been willing to do those kind of things.
Yeah, and I think for me, and I'll give it to you now, is understanding that I'm married to her.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. Yes, I marry your culture to an extent, but I was like, yo, man, we coming to build our own. So when the clashes happen, how do we fix those? Because we're setting a new culture for ourselves and our kids. And I think that's the thing that I think gives me oomph to fight, gives me energy to be like, okay, sure, this thing doesn't make sense because you grew up a certain way, I grew up a certain way, but my allegiance are not to those things because clearly my mind can change. I can adapt, etc., and my biggest motivation is wanting to keep my marriage healthy and flourishing. So I'm like, that's the thing that helps me. And then where we do find how our cultures come together and then create something new, I'm like, it's that energy enables me to celebrate that even deeper, and not even undermine that, because you could think this is beautiful, let's just overlook it. But I'm like, nah. So the food thing, for example, I'm like, that to me, I celebrate that, man. I'm like, hey, my wife
expose you to life.
Something simple as her saying, like if a restaurant is a burger joint, it mustn't sell fish. For me, I'm like, I know who thought we bought everything. It's a store. But for her, she was like, nah, son, if they sell a specific thing, don't trust that they can do the other thing, because that's an add-on. Then I started noticing. So I'm like, oh, lirekisa pizza and a lady fish. So you actually can't cook fish. When I come here, I mustn't order fish, because that's the add-on. You actually a pizza joint, right? But I'm like, that's something simple. But because she's been in that environment, in that world where her mom would be like, okay, cool, we're gonna go eat here at a specific place, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, me, bro, Pie City was my thing, dog. My mother comes back, lip box, 25 pies.
Yeah.
We're killing the game, dog.
Game.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, for the fact that she even had the experience of going to fancy restaurants, knowing what's what, whatever, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I grew up, the big thing that I'm getting to when I'm 15 is having my own plate and eating with a spoon. Because before, we eat with a
teaspoon or
you didn't even have a teaspoon, it's your hands, bro. Right? So now to even sit here and be like, 12 forks there. Come on.
And I've been to their Christmas party. It is.
I'm okay. By
the way, my wife said
7 colors.
My wife said Wimpy, as fancy as he is, she said Wimpy is a burger joint. And I'm like,
I mean, it is.
It is a burger.
A burger joint.
They sell burger. That's
burger
it's mainly
joint
a
is
burger.
Like Burger King.
No,
or McDonald's.
No, David means
those are
like
fast food,
means like those.
like,
you have to drive to like Rivonia.
BGR.
Yes.
Like.
See, you have bougie tendencies.
No, I do.
Yeah, you do.
No, because in the village we ate nice things.
I see.
No, because I was like, burger joint. No, that's a fast food. It's a fast restaurant.
I see.
And they sell burgers and other things.
Okay.
Like,
Don't trust.
burger. But she can pronounce the word burger. King, is it burger or...
David wanted to say jerk in a sermon.
Can you chill? Can you chill?
And then he was like, you know what the people say?
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
And what they mean is just tap into your emotions.
Yeah.
What if I'm angry?
Yeah.
Huh? Then they're not going to accept me being myself. They say, I'm a jerk.
I mean, what? I did not say that.
I'm a jerk. Ntate Moruti, it's a
Jack
Jack
with an
it's
R.
a
the
jerk.
people understood what
It's
was being
a
said. And I think for a long
they didn't
time,
say amen there because they
oh,
were
they were
like,
like confused.
"Ooh, waka Jack, come
Yeah.
on, Jack. I'm a Jack."
For a long time, there was like awareness of accent, and then I realized that
It is what it
this
is.
is what this is how I speak.
It is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you wanted to say, and then we'll close.
Oh, I think for me the most beautiful thing has been the amount of family I got,
Yeah.
which in the beginning was so scary for me
Yeah.
because I did not know what to do with more people. What scared me was I was worried what they would think of me, right, and whether I would be accepted. And then I was accepted, and there was so much love, and I'm like, I don't actually know what to do with all this love, and it's all these like psychological things. But down the road, it has been such a huge blessing. Like I have 2 extra sisters. I have like the most coolest mom-in-law. I have extra cousins. And also the most beautiful thing, actually, I know I said what it was seeing what the impact one man being black and seeing a man choose to stand up and do what's right for himself, for his family, and what that does to a community.
Yeah.
And valuing men who do that. I'd never seen that. The only person I would have seen that to, I lost by the time I was seen that from, rather, I lost when I was 5. Everyone else in my life was just women raising their kids, killing it in careers, doing the stuff. And now I'm like when there's a family issue and they call black, and I see him sort of go in and be like, it's just
full
like,
husband.
wow, this is like really cool. And what it has, how it has benefited just like everyone. So that's like a sort of a personal thing for me that's been beautiful to see. But I think it's just like the people, the extra love, the more. And now I'm excited for my daughter, for Zaya to be able to have a big family.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool. Like, that's actually really cool to have lots of people. And so, because I think as well, I was fortunate enough that demands were not made on us. They actually have never been made on us financially. Like,
Yeah.
it's never been, there's never been anything. If anything, I would get so frustrated with Black's mom when I'd find out that there was a situation and be like, why didn't you say anything?
Yeah.
You know? But that's her loving me to say, I don't want to be a burden, whatever. And so by the time there have been moments where we have to show up, we have to assist, because there's so much like genuine love that I have for these people and they have for me, even though it's unfamiliar territory,
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely like, yeah, who needs what? Like, what do we need to do? Because his little sister struggling is not beneficial to her. It's not beneficial to us. It's not beneficial to anyone. So what can we do for whatever she needs? Or if there's a cousin, whatever the case may be, someone's having a baby. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so it actually has the things that I feared the most about marrying someone with a lot of people. Like, none of that stuff has happened.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm really grateful for that, because I don't know what I would have done if it was the opposite. You know, I probably, because already I'm like this withdrawn thing, I would have been like, deuces, I'm out. Go find Sipati. I can't do this thing. So that's been beautiful, but also challenging from my sort of perspective and having to open up my heart and my world to more people.
Sipati would not have wanted him anyway.
Yep.
So
Sipati's never wanted me, so
Dude, this whole time we assumed Sipati wants
Yeah.
you. This is a game changer, bruh.
Yeah, 'cause
This
he's
is
not.
a game changer.
maybe she would want me
that's
now.
the clash of cultures. Like Sipati from the hood
Sipati
With
does not
With
relate
black
to
from
black
the hood.
From the hood.
Yo, that's wild.
Because yes, I think for me the beauty of it all has been us balancing each other out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have these 2 opposite cultures coming together, and I think we each brought some equilibrium, some balance to each other, some beauty and some clashes. Like finding each other in the mess of it all has been the beauty of it. But also, I think, in as much as my wife was a city girl, she could be in a village because she grew up in or has tasted village life
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Lesotho.
yeah.
She had friends in the township, so she knew what that looked like. So
Parents who had an upbringing like that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
she could relate to that. But I think the key thing is that our parents also anchor us in all of that. That they teach us how to be human. And I think this is,
Yeah.
if anything, what attracted me to my wife. You are a human. And by human, we mean botu, like botu, like you see people, you don't see yourself better than others. And she's never, I've never felt at any minute that my wife thinks she's better than me because she went to a fancy school. And that's how she approaches the cleaner at work and the CEO. So I'm like, flip, that's the beauty of the kind of world that she grew up in, that she could train with white people and speak to the
I've seen when
the
she's
cleaners.
possessed by her Sutu spirit.
Could this person so somebody I don't know if it was a white person who said her blackness came out when the city spirit possessed her, and it was like, wow, like this is, you can be like that. So it's code switching that y'all learned from a young age.
So no, that's dope, man. I think this conversation needs to be opened further. I think we touched the surface.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't go deeper.
I feel like, because there's probably like how we deal with in-laws. You kind of touched on that.
Yeah.
There's probably we alluded to the thing of dishes between us, and there's many couples I know who are like, dishes need to be washed this way, and then even with kids. So having all of us have kids, and how we raise them, what it is that we teach them. I know language has been a big thing for all three of us, having to teach them Tswana and Zulu, etc., etc. So I think we need to open it up some more, man. But yeah, this has been dope. I'm gonna invite you guys again, so that we can open it. And I wanted Puski to be here.
Maybe she should be
I
at the
think she
next
should
one.
be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that said, man, we'll see you on the next episode. 2.5. Peace.
Bye.